Before there was a sky to hold the stars, before there was an ocean to crash against a shoreline, there was only chaos. Do not mistake chaos for a god or a monster. It was a formless, screaming void of absolute emptiness. For uncounted, terrifying eons, nothingness was the supreme and only law of reality. But out of that dark void, something shifted. The emptiness didn't create life. It tore open. She did not have a mother. She did not have a father. She was the first solid thing to ever exist in the vacuum of existence. Her name was Gaia, and she wasn't just a goddess who ruled over the earth. She was the earth itself. The jagged mountain peaks were her knuckles breaking through the crust. The vast, pitch-black valleys were the deep curves of her ancient skin. The rivers were her veins. The soil, her flesh. History books today paint her as a gentle, nurturing mother, a peaceful spirit of nature, smiling upon fields of grain. But the ancient Greeks knew a far more terrifying truth. Do not mistake her for a loving protector. The Olympians would later learn that the womb that birthed the cosmos could just as easily open its jaws and swallow it whole. Because before she was a provider, Gaia was the ultimate architect of cosmic vengeance, and her wrath is as old as time itself. In the primordial dawn, Gaia was entirely alone in the quiet, freezing dark. Seeking an equal to match her colossal scale, she used her own raw power to birth her perfect opposite, Uranus, the starry sky. He stretched over her from horizon to horizon, a heavy canopy of infinite blue, gold, and burning starlight. He was her protector, her lover, and her equal. Bound together by the cosmic forces of creation, they brought forth the very first generations of life. But their firstborn children were not the beautiful, flawless gods of Mount Olympus. They were nightmares of raw, untamed power. First came the three Cyclopes, Brontes, Sterapes, and Argesh. One-eyed giants with skin like forged iron and the literal power of thunder vibrating in their veins. Behind them came the Hecatonchirs, Cottus, Briareus, and Gyges. These were shattering beasts with 100 flailing arms and 50 screaming heads. They were creatures so massive that the sheer force of their breathing could split a mountain range in half. Uranus looked down from his high celestial throne and felt pure, unadulterated disgust. He feared their unimaginable strength, and worse, he hated their chaotic ugliness. To the sky god, they were a blemish on his perfect universe. So, Uranus committed the ultimate cosmic sin. He refused to let them see the light of day. He forced the giants back down. He rammed them deep into the darkest, deepest fissures of the earth, back inside Gaia's own living womb, locking them away in a prison of agonizing, crushing darkness. Imagine the horror. Every time those 100-armed giants thrashed, every time they screamed for freedom, Gaia's stone bones fractured from the inside. The weight of her imprisoned children tore at her internal organs. Her maternal grief quickly hardened into an ancient, world-shattering fury. The sky had enslaved her children. Now, she was going to break the sky. Deep within her boiling, volcanic core, Gaia went to work in absolute secrecy. She mined the absolute hardest, darkest minerals hidden in the crust of the earth and forged a weapon of forbidden power. She created a massive sickle made of indestructible, grey flint, its jagged edge honed until it was sharper than a dying mortal's last breath. She gathered her next children, the 12 Titans, who were born beautiful and tall, in the deepest shadows of her subterranean tunnels. She showed them the gleaming, cold blade. She wept, showing them the agony caused by Uranus's cruelty, and begged them to stand against their tyrannical father. The Titans trembled. To strike the sky was an act of cosmic madness. To spill the blood of the heavens was to invite cosmic ruin. They all backed away into the shadows, paralyzing fear gripping their hearts. All except one, the youngest, coldest, and most ruthlessly ambitious Titan, Cronus. He hated his father's tyranny, but more than that, he craved his father's throne. That night, as Uranus descended from the heavens to rest upon Gaia, bringing a thick, suffocating blanket of dark night with him, Cronus lay in wait. When the sky god let his guard down and wrapped himself around the earth, Cronus lunged from the pitch-black shadows. With one swift, brutal, and unforgiving swing of Gaia's flint sickle, Cronus castrated his father. Uranus shrieked in cosmic agony, a sound so loud it shattered the mortal silence forever. He retreated high into the upper cosmos, bleeding profusely, never to descend and touch the earth directly ever again. But his divine, golden blood rained down upon Gaia's soil. The earth drank it deeply, and from that violent, tainted blood, Gaia secretly gestured a new horror into existence. The terrifying, snake-haired furies, and an unstoppable race of ironclad giants. The sky was permanently defeated. Cronus seized the throne and became the new king of the cosmos. Gaia closed her eyes, believing her children were finally free. She was dead wrong. Power, it seems, corrupts even the sons of the earth. Once Cronus sat upon the golden throne of the universe, he completely forgot his mother's sacrifice. He grew terrified of a prophecy Gaia herself whispered, that he would be overthrown by his own child, just as he had overthrown Uranus. Instead of freeing his 100-armed brothers from the deep earth, Cronus left them locked away, starving and screaming in the dark. Even worse, whenever his sister wife Rhea gave birth, Cronus snatched the newborns and swallowed them whole, trapping them inside his own divine, dark stomach. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, all consumed by their father's paranoia. Gaia watched from the soil, her rage boiling over once again. The new king was no better than the old tyrant. So, when Rhea grew pregnant with her sixth child, she fled to the depths of the earth, begging Gaia for help. Together, they devised a plan to trick the Titan King. Rhea handed Cronus a massive stone wrapped in swaddling clothes, which he greedily swallowed without looking, while Gaia hid the true child deep in a secret, echo-filled cave on the island of Crete. That child's name was Zeus. Decades passed, and Zeus grew to manhood in the shadows. He returned with a vengeance, tricking Cronus into vomiting up his swallowed siblings. A catastrophic war shattered the pillars of reality, the Gigantomachy. For 10 straight years, the sky clashed with the earth. Mountains were uprooted and thrown like pebbles. The oceans boiled. To win, Zeus descended to the deep earth and, on Gaia's advice, freed the Cyclopes and the Hecatonchyres. With thunderbolts forged by the Cyclopes and 300 stones thrown simultaneously by the 100-armed giants, the Olympians broke the Titans. Zeus chained the defeated Titans in heavy iron and cast them into the deepest, darkest pit of hell, Tartarus, a void so deep that an anvil dropped from the earth would fall for 9 days and 9 nights before hitting the bottom. But Zeus, in his supreme arrogance, made a fatal mistake. He forgot who owned the prison. By locking the Titans in the abyss of Tartarus, Zeus had once again used Gaia's own body as a dumpster for his prisoners. Enraged that the new Olympian gods were just as cruel, selfish, and dismissive as the tyrants before them, Gaia decided to wipe Mount Olympus off the cosmic map. She whispered to her children born from Uranus's blood, the giants. These were not mere large men. They were mountain-sized behemoths, some with legs made of writhing vipers, born with a singular purpose: to destroy the Olympians. Their king was Alcyoneus, an immortal giant who could never die as long as he fought on the soil of his birth. This was the Gigantomachy, a war so violent that the stars themselves shook out of their orbits. The giants tore up entire islands and hurled them at the gods, turning Mount Olympus into a siege zone. Gaia, knowing a prophecy stated the giants could only be killed by a god working alongside a mortal, sought to protect her children. Deep within the secret places of the earth, she grew a magical herb, a pharmacon, that would make the giants completely invincible, even against mortals. But Zeus learned of the plant. In a desperate move, Zeus forbade the sun, the moon, and the dawn to shine. In total, suffocating darkness, Zeus harvested the magical herb himself before Gaia could find it. With the herb gone, the gods struck back. Zeus enlisted his mortal son, Heracles. Heracles shot Alcyoneus with a poisoned arrow, and on the advice of the gods, dragged the giant away from his homeland, stripping him of his immortality and crushing him. The giant Enceladus fled, but Athena ripped a massive chunk of earth and threw it on top of him, flattening him beneath what is now the island of Sicily. One by one, Gaia watched her giants bleed out onto her soil. Seeing her giants fall, Gaia realized she needed something absolute, something that didn't just fight the gods, but hunted them to extinction. She descended to the absolute bottom of reality and mated with Tartarus, the personification of the abyss itself. From that dark, unholy union, she gave birth to her ultimate masterpiece of destruction, Typhon, the father of monsters. Typhon was a creature of pure cosmic horror. He was so colossal that when he stood upright, his head brushed the stars of the upper galaxy. His arms stretched from the east to the west, and instead of fingers, 100 writhing, fire-breathing dragon heads sprouted from his shoulders. His lower body was a mass of massive, coiling vipers that hissed so loudly the sound tore the eardrums of mortals miles away. His eyes burned with a malevolent, volcanic fire, and his roar was a chaotic chorus of lions, bulls, and screaming serpents. When Typhon marched on Mount Olympus, the sky turned to ash. The Olympian gods, the great, proud rulers of the universe, looked upon Gaia's ultimate wrath and fled in pure, unadulterated terror. They transformed themselves into animals and hid in the deep deserts of Egypt, leaving Zeus to face the nightmare alone. The battle tore the planet apart. Typhon lunged at Zeus, his 100 dragon heads snapping through the thunderbolts. In a brutal grapple, Typhon overpowered the king of Olympus. He ripped the sinews from Zeus's arms and legs, leaving the king of the gods a broken, screaming shell in a cold cave, guarded by a dragon monster named Delphine. It was only through the cunning trickery of Hermes, who stole the sinews back, that Zeus was restored. Armed once more with the ultimate force of 1,000 lightning bolts, Zeus pursued Typhon across the world. When Typhon threw mountains at Zeus, Zeus blasted them back with thunder, crushing the monster. Finally, Zeus pinned Typhon beneath Mount Etna, trapping the beast under millions of tons of volcanic rock. To this day, when the volcano erupts, it is Typhon thrashing against the weight of Gaia's creation. Zeus won the war, and the Olympians kept their throne. But they learned a chilling, inescapable lesson that every ruler of the cosmos would carry until the end of time. You can conquer the high heavens. You can claim dominion over the roaring seas. You can lock up the dead in the underworld. But you walk on her skin. You breathe her air. Every palace of Mount Olympus is built on her shoulders. Gaia never forgets, and she never truly sleeps. She is the silent watcher, waiting for the gods to slip, waiting for the next cycle of creation to burn. Because in the end, no matter how high you fly, everything returns to the dirt. Keep your headphones on, and your candles lit. Subscribe to the Oracle Scroll for more unsealed lore. Good night.